The average 23-year-old girl has slept with more men than the average 53-year-old woman. Let that sink in. We're living in a time, and I know this because I used to be a teacher for many years, and I couldn't believe the sexual promiscuity amongst 14, 13, 12-year-old girls, because here's what they had. They had access to Snapchat. They could send nudes of themselves to older boys or whatever it is from the age of 11, 12, nudes or whatever it is. Well, it's technically child pornography. They would start so young, and they're living in an era where there's no negativity attached to sleeping around. It's seen as liberating. So by the time a girl is 23 years old, I promise you she's slept with more men than a 53-year-old woman. Because a 53-year-old woman grew up in a time where she was shamed for sleeping around. There was no sexual liberation. There was a sanctity attached to sexuality. A 22-year-old grew up in a time where Snapchat, twerking, wearing promiscuous clothes, going out, being on social media was all normalized. So if you think that, I'm going to be with a 21-year-old, she's going to have low body count. Guys, what world do you live in? What world do you live in?
Okay, let me start this off by I'm gonna start it off by saying this, right?
Hold on. Before you go into that, could I just say, I don't know what school she's teaching at, but if she was my teacher, bro, I'm in front of the class every day.
There you go, man. You see, you sexualized her. Come on, man.
I ain't sexualized her. She's bad, bro.
Listen, man. Come on, man. Listen, I'm gonna say this about that video though. I think that if you're gonna shame or you're gonna look at girls as being shamed for being promiscuous when they're young, and a lot of things factor into both girls and boys being promiscuous when they're young, but you got to hold that same energy towards boys too. You know what I'm saying? I feel that boys and girls should be. I didn't always feel like this. As a teen, us growing up, we felt like, you know what I'm saying, the more girls you get, the more, you know what I mean, that was like a badge of honor, you know what I'm saying? But as you know, older, I feel that you can't shame or look at girls a certain way without looking at the boys too. With that said, though, we know society does look at women or girls differently than they look at boys when it comes to having what they call high body counts, or a lot of sexual partners, a lot of sexual encounters. And I do think it affects women long term when the body counts is high. I do. And I'm just being honest. It does. If somebody tells you that it don't, it's definitely they're lying, because you could sometimes girls gotta move to a whole nother state to even start a whole nother life, because they got a reputation where they from as just being out there with mad people. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to dudes can a man could have wild sexual partners, find a girl he like, marry her, and live a perfect life in his hometown where he live at. Whereas you take a woman that has multiple sexual partners, she's gonna be known as that where she live at. So she gotta kind of like go somewhere else where don't nobody even know her and start a life over there. And God forbid she come back to her town with her new man or her new husband. They gonna be like, oh, that's shorty right there that everybody kind of ran through. It's sad though, and it's sad that women gotta go through that, because women make mistakes as teenagers, just like us. You know what I'm saying? Teenagers, you kind of wilding a little bit. Maybe you don't know her family dynamic when she was younger. She could have been touched. Sometimes when girls and boys are touched inappropriately when they're young, sometimes that can jumpstart what's the word I'm looking for? Jumpstart the sexuality in a body. They start looking for sex and wanting to, it can happen when they introduce to sex early. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like we need to have the same energy for both, but society shows us that women are affected way more when they have high body counts.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Craig Kids podcast channel.